At a casual glance, they could be mistaken for the same animal. Both are spotted, medium-sized African wildcats. Both are built for speed and stealth. Both are found across sub-Saharan Africa, and both have appeared in countless wildlife documentaries, safari photographs, and nature programs. And yet the cheetah and the leopard are two of the most distinct and differently evolved large cats on the planet. They represent two entirely separate evolutionary strategies, so different in biology, behavior, and body plan that a trained wildlife biologist can tell them apart at a distance of several hundred meters in an instant. The confusion between them is entirely understandable to the casual observer, but it dissolves completely the moment you know what to look for. One of them is the fastest land animal on Earth, a sprinting machine so specialized for pure speed that it has sacrificed almost everything else, including the ability to roar, the ability to climb trees, and much of the physical strength that other large cats possess. The other is arguably the most adaptable and versatile large predator in the world, a cat so physically capable, so behaviorally flexible, and so ecologically resilient that it has survived and even thrived in environments that have seen lions, tigers, and cheetahs pushed to the margins of their former ranges. Today, WildForge explores every dimension that separates these two magnificent cats, from their ancient evolutionary origins and physical anatomy to their hunting strategies, their social lives, and their very different prospects for survival in the 21st century. Both the cheetah and the leopard belong to the family Felidae, the cat family, but they belong to different subfamilies and different genera, reflecting a significant evolutionary separation that runs far deeper than their spotted coats might suggest. The leopard belongs to the subfamily Pantherinae, while the cheetah belongs to the subfamily Felinae, the same broader group as domestic cats, pumas, and lynxes. The leopard, Panthera pardus, belongs to the genus Panthera, the same genus that includes lions, tigers, jaguars, and snow leopards. This places the leopard firmly within the roaring cats, sharing a common ancestor with some of the most powerful predators on Earth. Fossil evidence suggests that the Panthera lineage originated in Asia approximately 10 to 11 million years ago, with the leopard diverging as a distinct species roughly 3.5 to 4.5 million years ago. The leopard subsequently spread across an enormous range, from sub-Saharan Africa through the Middle East, across Central Asia, South Asia, and into the Russian Far East and China, becoming one of the most geographically widespread wildcats that has ever existed. The cheetah, Acinonyx jubatus, belongs to an entirely different genus, Acinonyx, of which it is the sole living member. This genetic isolation is profound. The cheetah's closest living relatives within the cat family are not leopards or lions, but rather the pumas of the Americas and certain smaller cats, a relationship that reflects a very different evolutionary journey from that of the Panthera cats. The cheetah lineage is believed to have originated in North America approximately 5 to 7 million years ago, migrated across the Bering Land Bridge into Eurasia, and eventually spread into Africa, where the vast majority of the world's remaining cheetah population lives today. This separate evolutionary history explains an astonishing genetic discovery about modern cheetahs. The entire global population is strikingly genetically uniform, far more so than almost any other large mammal species. Research has demonstrated that all living cheetahs are so closely related that skin grafts can be exchanged between unrelated individuals without rejection, as though they were identical twins. This suggests that cheetahs passed through one or more severe population bottlenecks in their evolutionary past, events in which the population was reduced to a tiny number of individuals, resulting in the loss of nearly all genetic diversity. This near-total lack of genetic variation has significant consequences for cheetah health and disease resistance that continue to concern conservation scientists today. This is where the confusion between cheetahs and leopards most clearly dissolves, because once you know the key physical differences, these two cats are immediately and unmistakably distinguishable. The most reliable and immediately visible difference is in the coat pattern. Both animals have spotted coats, but the nature of those spots is entirely different. The cheetah has solid single-colored black spots, each one a distinct filled-in circle of black against a tawny golden background. These spots are simple, clear, and discreet. The leopard's coat pattern is fundamentally different. The leopard's markings are not solid spots but rosettes, complex, multi-part rings of black that enclose a paler tawny center, creating a flower-like or ring-like pattern across the body. Only on the face, lower legs, and belly do leopards show small solid spots. The rest of the body is covered in these distinctive rosettes that immediately distinguish them from the simpler spots of the cheetah. The cheetah also has a unique and instantly recognizable facial feature, a pair of bold black lines running from the inner corner of each eye down to the corners of the mouth, resembling tear tracks on the face. These distinctive black facial markings, found on no other wildcat, are believed to help reduce glare from the sun during daylight hunting, functioning somewhat like the black eye paint worn by American football players. No leopard has these markings. In terms of build, the two animals could not be more physically contrasting despite their similar size. The cheetah has an extraordinarily slender, lightweight body, long legs, a narrow waist, a deep chest, and a flexible spine designed for one purpose above all others: generating and sustaining explosive speed. Adult cheetahs typically weigh between 21 and 65 kilograms, with a lean, almost greyhound-like silhouette. Their head is comparatively small, their jaws relatively weak, and their teeth, while sharp, are smaller than those of comparable-sized predators. The leopard is built to an entirely different specification. It is compact, heavily muscled, with short but immensely powerful legs, a broad head, and extremely strong jaws. Adult male leopards typically weigh between 30 and 90 kilograms, with females somewhat lighter, but even a relatively small leopard possesses a density of muscle and a robustness of frame that a cheetah of the same weight simply cannot match. The leopard's jaw muscles and skull structure are adapted for tremendous biting force, strong enough to crush bone and to carry prey items significantly larger than itself up vertical tree trunks. One further critical physical distinction separates cheetahs from virtually all other cats, including leopards: the cheetah's claws. Leopards, like all other cats, possess fully retractable claws that can be withdrawn into protective sheaths when not in use, keeping them sharp for climbing and prey capture. The cheetah's claws are semi-retractable. They cannot be fully withdrawn and consequently remain exposed at all times, like the blunt, worn claws of a dog. This gives the cheetah's paws exceptional grip on the ground during high-speed running, functioning like the cleats on an athlete's running shoes, but it means that cheetah claws are far less suited for climbing or for holding struggling prey than the fully retractable, razor-sharp claws of a leopard. The differences in habitat preference and geographic distribution between cheetahs and leopards reflect their profoundly different ecological strategies and physical capabilities. Cheetahs are animals of open landscapes. They are found primarily in open savannas, grasslands, and semi-arid scrubland, environments where their greatest asset, their speed, can be deployed to maximum effect across open ground with long sightlines. The cheetah requires visibility to hunt effectively, both to spot prey at a distance and to conduct the high-speed pursuit that is its primary hunting technique. Dense forest or broken terrain significantly reduces its advantage. Today, cheetahs are found primarily across sub-Saharan Africa, with a small and critically endangered population, the Asiatic cheetah, surviving in Iran, believed to number fewer than 50 individuals. Across Africa, cheetah populations have declined to an estimated 6,000 to 7,000 individuals, distributed across fragmented populations in eastern and southern Africa, with the Serengeti Masai Mara ecosystem in Tanzania and Kenya supporting one of the largest remaining populations. The leopard's habitat range is a dramatic contrast. Leopards are the most habitat flexible of all the large cats. They have been recorded in rainforest, deciduous forest, grassland, semi-desert, mountain regions at elevations above 5,000 meters, and in agricultural and suburban environments where they prey on livestock and domestic animals. This remarkable habitat flexibility reflects the leopard's more versatile hunting strategy and its ability to exploit almost any environment that provides sufficient prey and cover. Leopards survive in fragmented landscapes that would be uninhabitable for cheetahs, lions, or tigers, making them considerably more resilient to the habitat loss and fragmentation that threatens so many large carnivores. Leopard populations persist in parts of their range that have lost all other large predators, and viable leopard populations have been documented within 25 kilometers of major African cities, an adaptability that no cheetah population can currently match. The hunting strategies of the cheetah and the leopard are so different that they represent two entirely distinct approaches to the fundamental challenge of predation, and understanding these differences reveals why each animal is built the way it is. The cheetah is a pursuit predator, the fastest pursuit predator on Earth. It hunts primarily by sight, using its elevated position and exceptional daytime vision to scan open grassland for potential prey, typically medium-sized antelope such as Thompson's gazelles, impalas, and springbok. Once a target is identified, the cheetah typically begins a careful stalk, reducing the distance between itself and the prey to approximately 60 to 70 meters before launching its attack. The attack itself is one of the most breathtaking spectacles in the natural world. A cheetah at full speed can reach 112 kilometers per hour, a speed verified through GPS tracking studies, and can accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in approximately 3 seconds, outperforming virtually every production sports car in acceleration. This sprint is made possible by a unique combination of physical adaptations: a flexible spine that acts as a spring, extending and contracting with each stride to dramatically increase stride length, semi-retractable claws providing exceptional grip, an enlarged heart and liver, and wide nostrils and large sinuses allowing massive oxygen intake during the chase. However, this sprint is also extremely costly. A cheetah can maintain maximum speed for only approximately 20 to 30 seconds before overheating. If the prey has not been caught within roughly 300 to 400 meters, the cheetah typically abandons the chase entirely to avoid fatal heat stroke. The cheetah kills prey by knocking it off balance at speed and then applying a suffocating throat bite. But because of its relatively weak jaw muscles and smaller teeth, this process can take several minutes, during which the cheetah is extremely vulnerable to theft by lions, leopards, hyenas, and even large vultures. The success rate of cheetah hunts, approximately 40 to 50%, is among the highest of any large cat, but the energy expenditure involved and the vulnerability to kleptoparasitism mean that cheetahs frequently lose their hard-won kills to other predators before they can consume them. The leopard's hunting strategy is built on an entirely different principle: stealth, patience, and overwhelming ambush power. The leopard is a supreme stalking predator, approaching prey through whatever cover is available: long grass, rocky outcrops, dense bush, until it is close enough to launch an explosive short-range attack. The leopard's exceptional camouflage, provided by its complex spotted coat, makes it extraordinarily difficult to detect even at relatively short distances. The leopard's prey range is the most diverse of any large wildcat. It takes everything from large antelope, deer, and young buffalo to baboons, reptiles, birds, insects, fish, and even porcupines. This dietary flexibility allows leopards to survive in environments where a specialist like the cheetah simply could not. One of the leopard's most remarkable behaviors is its habit of carrying kills into trees, sometimes hauling carcasses weighing more than twice its own body weight several meters up a vertical trunk. This behavior, which requires immense strength in the jaw, neck, and foreleg muscles, serves the crucial purpose of protecting the kill from lions and hyenas, which cannot climb trees. A cheetah, with its relatively weak muscles and semi-retractable claws, cannot carry kills into trees and loses a significant percentage of its meals to stronger competitors. The social lives of the cheetah and the leopard differ considerably, reflecting their different hunting strategies and vulnerability to competition from larger predators. Leopards are fundamentally solitary animals outside of the mating period and the time a female spends raising cubs. Adult leopards maintain exclusive home ranges, which they scent mark extensively using urine, feces, and scratches on trees and defend against members of the same sex. Males and females overlap in range but generally avoid direct contact except during mating. The leopard's solitary lifestyle is well suited to an ambush hunter that relies on stealth and element of surprise, a strategy that is generally more effective alone than in groups. Leopards are also notably secretive animals and are considered by many wildlife researchers to be the most difficult of all the large African cats to observe and study in the wild. Cheetahs show a more varied and, in some ways, surprising social organization. Females are almost always solitary, raising their cubs alone and maintaining home ranges that may overlap with those of other females. However, male cheetahs frequently form small coalitions, most commonly composed of brothers from the same litter, that remain together for life. These male coalitions, typically consisting of 2 to 3 individuals, cooperate in territorial defense and can successfully defend larger territories than solitary males, and occasionally cooperate in hunting larger prey than a single male could tackle. Both species are vocal, but in fundamentally different ways. The leopard, as a member of the genus Panthera, possesses the anatomical structures necessary to roar, a deep, rasping roar described as resembling the sound of a saw cutting through coarse wood, which carries for several kilometers through the African night. This roar serves to advertise territory and communicate with potential mates. The cheetah, by contrast, cannot roar. Its larynx is structured differently, lacking the specialized floating hyoid bone that enables the Panthera cats to produce their characteristic roar. Instead, cheetahs produce a remarkable array of vocalizations, including a distinctive bird-like chirping sound used between mothers and cubs, a high-pitched yelp, and a purring sound produced during inhalation and exhalation simultaneously, a continuous purr that leopards cannot produce, just as cheetahs cannot roar. The conservation situations of the cheetah and the leopard, while both concerning, differ dramatically in their severity, and for reasons that reflect the fundamental biological differences between the two species. The cheetah is one of Africa's most endangered large carnivores, with a global wild population estimated at only 6,000 to 7,500 individuals, a figure that has declined by approximately 50% over the past 4 decades. The cheetah is classified as vulnerable on the IUCN Red List, though many conservation scientists argue that its actual situation warrants a more urgent threat category. The Asiatic cheetah, surviving only in Iran, is classified as critically endangered, with fewer than 50 individuals remaining. The primary threats to cheetahs are habitat loss and fragmentation, which reduce the open grassland their hunting strategy requires. Human-wildlife conflict, particularly with livestock farmers, and the unique genetic vulnerability created by their extremely low genetic diversity, which reduces their ability to adapt to new diseases and environmental pressures. Cheetahs also suffer disproportionately from competition with other large predators, particularly lions and spotted hyenas, which steal their kills, kill their cubs, and restrict the areas where cheetahs can successfully raise young. In many protected areas, this competition is intense enough that cheetahs achieve higher reproductive success outside formal reserves than within them. The leopard's conservation situation, while still serious in many parts of its range, is considerably more stable than the cheetahs. The leopard is listed as vulnerable on the IUCN Red List, but its global population, estimated at between 250,000 and 700,000 individuals, though this range reflects significant uncertainty, is substantially larger than the cheetahs, and its habitat flexibility gives it considerably greater resilience to human-caused environmental change. However, certain leopard subspecies face severe and immediate threats. The Amur leopard of the Russian Far East and northeastern China is considered one of the rarest wildcats on Earth, with the wild population estimated at only around 100 individuals. The Arabian leopard is similarly critically endangered, and across much of Asia, leopard populations have been severely reduced by habitat loss, prey depletion, and persecution. So, what is the real difference between a cheetah and a leopard? At the most visible level, it is the spots versus the rosettes, and the unique black tear mark lines on the cheetah's face that no leopard possesses. At the anatomical level, it is the cheetah's non-retractable claws versus the leopard's fully retractable ones, and the cheetah's lightweight, speed-optimized frame versus the leopard's compact, massively powerful body. But at the deepest level, the difference between a cheetah and a leopard is the difference between two entirely separate evolutionary experiments, both successful, both remarkable, but pursuing success through completely different routes. The cheetah is the ultimate specialist, a single narrow peak of evolutionary perfection in one dimension, pure speed. It has paid for this specialization with vulnerability in almost every other dimension, and today, those vulnerabilities, combined with the pressures of a rapidly changing world, place it among Africa's most threatened large carnivores. The leopard is the ultimate generalist, a cat that has traded the cheetah's peak speed for something arguably more valuable in a world shaped by human activity: the ability to survive almost anywhere, eat almost anything, and persist in landscapes from which every other large predator has long since disappeared. Both animals are extraordinary, both are under pressure, and both remind us that in the natural world there is no single path to success, only different ways of being remarkably, improbably alive. Thank you for watching.